Hey guys, it's Diana. Thursday night again, guys. Tonight, we're going to be doing some watercolors. Kind of multimedia. I had wanted to put leaves. I collected some leaves, like a month ago. When it was, it snowed since then, but I don't know where I put them. So here's one. I use gold. It says leaves are autumn's blooms. I made it up. And then this one, not exactly what I wanted, but it says fall colors. So I'll show you some wet on wet and wet on dry. And then I was just playing around while I'm sitting here. And he's kind of interesting, right? A little interesting, right? So just how to play with colors and stuff. So let's get started on that. Again, my name is Diana Myers. I'm an artist and a teacher. Been teaching online around 5 years now. Been teaching painting with a twist for this like 8 years. I've been an artist a long time. I'm an old chick. So anyways, let me see if you're up here. If I'm on here, refresh. If I don't get knocked off, because that seems to be a thing these days. The other night, last Thursday night, there was a lot of storms and stuff, and I had forgot the night before the power was out. So I got kicked off twice, and then I gave up, and then right after that I get a text message from my company that it was restored. I'm like, well, now I give up. Whatever. So it's like crazy, right? Crazy stuff. All right, I don't see me. Where am I? I'm on my art page, right? Yeah. So if you're on here, I'm a few minutes early. Just say hi. Say hey. I'm trying to get this up here. Put this on. Let me know what you're doing. Are you gonna do some art with me tonight? Do you like watercolors? I like watercolors. Mostly I do acrylic. That's what I teach. We're going to be doing some Christmas trees here pretty soon. Won't be long. Simple Christmas trees. Simple stuff. I do mostly like acrylic painters that want to learn, like, who are struggling and who are new to it, or just got back into it, or just want to know more stuff, because I explore a lot of different things, and it's nice to have somebody with you that does that. We all help each other. But that want to be more skilled, inspired, and confident on their artistic journey. I broke that down because that's what I feel like. I like to do art, and I like sharing what I do and teaching it, which I didn't know until I worked painting with a twist. They say, hey, I know a lot of stuff. I mean, you've been doing anything for 40 years. You know a lot of stuff. No, I don't do no professional courses or anything, but, I do a lot of different things. We've done a lot of, like, I taught like right brain, left brain, and recently we've been doing this art therapy thing, guided art therapy. I got a book which is on the table of different things you can do. This is a great way to de-stress. I mean, they use it. My daughter was a social worker, and they use it for a lot of different things, art. I don't know why I'm not coming up. I'm giving one more shot. Let's refresh. See what happens. Let's see if I'm on here. I don't know. I was working off my laptop. Not laptop. My iPad. Didn't work out so good. I used it quite a while, but I don't know. I got hacked, so I'm thinking that's what it was. Hey, Joellen. How you doing, girl? So anybody that's out there, come on in. Like and share and let us know where you're from. There's my page manager. I got that. Let's go back. Yeah, so we're going to do a little watercolor today, just for something a little quick. I didn't sleep good last night. I didn't feel good. I was not in good shape last night. I won't give any details, but I wasn't in good shape last night. So this is on Page Manager. We don't want it on Page Manager. I don't know. It's a little slow. It's a little slow today. That's okay. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let me hit that one, see if that'll work. Oh, I think we might have it. Nope, took me back to manage page. I'm not managing page. Oh, there I am. I'm on page. I guess I'm on this page. Okay. Anyways, here I am. You guys got these big comfy like teddy bear things. Oh, I washed mine yesterday. It's been in the closet for like a year. And let me tell you something. So comfortable. Hey, Laura Ann. So anyways, I couldn't find, I have some, you know, like real leaves, but I did find this one. I'm going to print it onto this. So, and I'll show you what I did. I'm using heavy duty watercolor paper. Well, it's not real heavy duty. I think it's 120, 130, 120. So much for being ready. Well, it's 120 to 130 watercolor paper. And I cut it into fours. It's like 11 by 10 by 10, 11 by 8, whatever the standard size is. Hey, Kathy Joe. So I got two pieces here. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I finally got my Lazy Susan for all my paints. Now my laptop don't fit. I'm on a roll this month. It's a new month, so maybe it'll go a little bit better than last month. All right, so in the meantime, we're doing watercolors. So let me show you everything. Hey, Diana. So let me show you everything. So let's hope there's no storms and nothing goes out again tonight. Last Thursday was a fiasco. It was something wrong with the cable, too, because I got a notification after that it was... our cable had been out like an hour and a half. Not cable. I don't have cable on the internet. So this looks kind of rough, but this is how it looks after a while. And I save these so I get really cool colors with them. And what you got to do, the first thing you're going to do when you get watercolors, if you got one like this, if you got the tubes, smush them out. If they're dry, you got to make sure they're wet them. So you want to get them nice and jammy. So I'm going to get it wet. Just my spray bottle, get them jammy. And then I'm going to take, it is a watercolor brush, but you can use any type of brush, some paper towels. And you are going to, we're going to do a thing called wet on wet. Let me get paper towels here. And I usually, when I'm doing wet on wet, I usually make sure I got some kind of either my glass, which I have out, glass palette, or actually the back of an old, or not old, but the back of, this is actually a dollar store canvas, but it's all in plastic. Or I did have one I threw away. I did like just a old piece of cardboard so I could tape onto it with washi tape, because on the thinner paper you're going to want to tape this down with with washi tape or some type of painter's tape. But with thinner paper, that's a problem, because the paper's so thin that it starts to buckle. Now you'll get some buckling with this, but because it's got some nice, tooth to it, it's nice and heavy, it's not going to buckle as much. Where if I use say a 65-pound paper, it's the front of the book, you'll see different things. The lower the number, the thinner the paper. So that you really had to tape down. Then you got to be careful about getting the tape out. When you're doing a water technique, it can really slide under the tape and stuff. So when I'm doing a water technique, I tend to just not worry about taping it down. But I have this little trick I do around the edges to make like it has a border. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, like I said, I got my big brush out. Where'd I put it? I had it out. My big brush, right here. So it's just a big brush. I have a bamboo one, but you didn't think I could find it. No, I looked this morning, I can't find it. I had a rough night, guys, so I'm a little tired. But it happens, right? The old lady problems, right? All right, so this is a wet on wet technique, so it's just like what it sounds. I just pressed some button by accident. Okay. So you want to wet the paper. Wet on wet. And I'm doing like fall colors. And remember, when you're doing a wet on wet, this color is going to be lighter because you've got so much water in it. But as a rule, with watercolor, you should always start lighter, because with acrylic paint, you can put lighter colors over the top. With this, you can't. You have to go lighter. So wet on wet is great for that. So I'm going to pick out some fall colors like I used in here. is it? Right here. I'm going to pick out like oranges and some yellows. I'm just going to slap them on here. Just kind of rough them up. It looks really dark, but it's not going to be real dark, guys. It's not. Now let me get my paper towels. The thing is, if you feel like it's too dark, you can dab. This can be dabbed. And you can also take your brush, take some water out, you can kind of remove some water. But right now I don't want to do that. I want this to look a little splotchy. So I want it to like run around. And then you want to do some yellow, some pretty yellows. Throw that in somewhere. And then I use a little brown. Really want to, I mean, a little more water because I really want this to kind of blend together a little bit. And then I'm going to use a brown. Remember, use dry lighter, so don't freak out. Now, if you want it darker, you just use less water. A little brown. So now what you can do is you can kind of, depending on what you want to do, I kind of like it when the colors kind of run together. Now you can let it dry or make it dry. I'm going to make it dry. I'm going to show you what I did. Oh, first I'm going to kind of put a border on it with this. I'm just going to go just like that. Absorb. You can do this with your brush too. Paper towel works good because you can really absorb it. I think I'd be perfect either because I kind of touch up with my pen. So if you don't want to use the washi tape, this is a good way to get kind of the same effect, a little more muted. Like I said, you can pick up the watercolor. We did this one technique earlier this year, if you guys remember, where we did stencils. I put a stencil on it. Well, that's an idea. And I just picked the water off, just put the stencil over it. And after it was dry, I did it again. You can get 3 or 4 layers. You get all these dimensions in there. It's really cool. I'll have to do that again sometime. I want to get back to the jelly plate. I've been looking at that too. You can buy a small one. It's pretty reasonable, but it gives you a really different printmaking kind of look. All right, so if there's something you don't like, you can adjust it later with the paint. So now I'm going to take and I'm pretty good with that. I mean, you could, if you don't like something, you could like do this. Watch it. You can still put more color on if you want to. You don't have to like live with that color. Remember, this is going to dry really light. This is a heavier paper, so I'm not worried about it buckling, but you can see it's starting to buckle a little bit. It's my watercolor phase. I went through this on and off for years, like I just changed. I did oil paints for over 20 years. And I'm about ready to get back in because I've been getting stuff and watching videos. I'm thinking about doing some portraits, believe it or not. I was never really good at them, but I recently did some that weren't too bad. So, but you know, I feel like you should always be experimenting. So, I know it can be expensive, but it doesn't have to be. If you guys are on my main page, you see I put that guy, his last name is Butterworth, and he does all his paintings, and they sell for a lot of money on cardboard. So last week, can you see what I did up there on the top? That's on cardboard. Came out so good. I did 2 of them, so I one front and one in here. But I'm going to do some Christmas trees too, like that. But you don't have to use anything expensive. If you're experimenting, experiment. Try toilet paper. I don't know. I mean, you could like maybe make like a, you know, to do like that, different things. They make stuff out of it. You could do something like that and dry on there. I did this multimedia one. I did a class on, every year I do one on what you want to get out of that year, what they call it. And I used some paper. I rolled it up. See what I did? It's the packing paper you get in your Amazon. And then I, you know, put on there things I want to work on, like alignment and different things. So just your, I can't remember what they call this board. You know what I'm talking about. So it's kind of a wish board. So I did that. So you can do anything you want, and you ain't got to get crazy. Just think about what you got around the house and what you already have. Thank you, Diana. Thank you. I like your name. So anyways, let me flip this back around. So you can get pretty creative with what you paint on, but you know, people think, oh, I can't afford it. Well, you could, there's stuff you got you can use. I love the cardboard thing because a few years ago I had seen it, and I had done it before, and just for something to paint on. And I seen somebody I made like, it looks like a dollar store board canvas. And it's in one of my videos on YouTube. If you guys ever get a chance, go over there. Make sure you subscribe. I need like 4 more people so that I can do lives on there, which is important. All right, so we dried that a little bit. Oh, it's still wet. Dried a little bit. I got off track, which is not unusual. I digress. Like I said, you can stay a little drip there. You can adjust this as you go. You could add a little bit of drips of color, just use a smaller brush. Now I took this, or any kind of leaf you got, I was going to use some smaller ones, this is the only one I had. So, and I had a few that are like on a garland, but they're the same size. So all I did was I took a gold paint, and I used, it's over here, where did I put it? I use Deco Art, mostly I use Deco Art acrylic paints for most of my regular painting. This was 24 karat gold. This is their extreme sheen. It really is shiny. And I am going to literally just paint the back of this with it. Get a different brush and paper towels again. And I use rags too, but sometimes I just don't have no patience. After a while, you got to do something with it. I like to clean them out. I hate using anything I can't reuse, but they get, after a while, they get really pretty messed up. All right, so now I need my gold paint. And put it onto, I'm not going to do my whole big palette. Let me see what I got over here. Yeah. I need this. I'm going to dab this paint. You'll see what I'm going to do so that it's not so crazy. Okay, I had a little piece for a palette here. Just a little piece of paper. Anything will do. Let's see, I got the back of this thing, a piece of wood here. I just want a little bit of paint. A little bit, a little bit. Just a little bit, don't need much. Then I got a regular brush, got a little flat brush, small one. Okay, little flat angle. And I'm just gonna paint this guy like this. Well, I don't want to paint right on there. Let's paint over here. Now, if you happen to have some outside leaves, that would be a good thing too. I don't know what I did with them. I got more journals. I don't know if you guys have to use sketch or use journals, you guys, and I know a lot of you guys probably do, but it's in one of them. And I just got like a couple ones for gifts. I got one when we went up to the Museum in Adirondacks, and they're just everywhere. And I found a couple I forgot I had. I'm redoing one, and I don't know which one I stuck it in. I didn't feel like looking for it either, because like I said, I didn't feel so good this morning. So I'm going to flip this right over. I had to kind of figure out where I want it, but I'm going to do the same thing I do it right here. Then you take like a piece of paper. You would do this with a real leaf too, and you just kind of press down. You're not going to get the whole thing. I had to go around it. I mean, you don't have to, but to kind of outline it with micro pen, or even a regular black big pen would do the same thing basically. So get as much off as you can. Press down hard. Let's see what we got. Make sure you get that paint on there that you go right to this, because if it's dry, it's not. This thing is absorbing it. So you got just a light impression. I did last time, so I kind of went like this. Where I didn't get that much, I just kind of put it back over like that. I'm assuming this would absorb better with a real leaf, but I'm not sure. I've seen this thing where they wax them. I have saved them in books, but I would like to wax them. They do all kinds of crafts with them. So another little trick with this is if you want to fill it in more, just kind of just lightly dab where you feel like the leaf would be, just to fill it in a little bit if you want to. Just a little bit. I want it to be impressionistic, a little abstract. So just the tiniest bit here and there. So I'm going to fill this in with some pens, maybe a touch more watercolor. So that's it. That's all you need. Now this border, this piece right here, I'm going to get a really tiny, tiny brush. And I mean, you don't have to. I mean, some people would just like that, but I just feel like I got to just kind of fill that in a little bit. Just dab it with the paper towel. And give it a little spotchy mark, which is cool. I can put some more paint colors in too if you want to. You can kind of touch up anything you want to fill in a little bit. I'm very tactile. You'll see I put my fingers in everything. That's why they're always a mess. Yeah. I was a hairdresser for a long time. I think that has something to do with it, 'cause your hands are like in everything. I don't know. I'm a gardener too, and I hardly ever wear gloves. The only time I wear gloves is when there's a shovel involved or a lot of digging, because after a while, you know, of course I have a little arthritis now. See how I'm just kind of filling this all in? And I can dab it while it's still wet. I could take off any paint while it's still wet right here. We had a little border. It's still there. A little bit. You could still lift. You can re-wet and lift off if you need to. I don't know if you know that. You can just re-wet and just start lifting some of the paint off. If you don't like something. I think that's enough paint. All right. So now, let's make sure it's dry, especially the acrylic. So basically it's like stamping. If you happen to have some kind of stamps that would work too, or like I said, you could do a stencil. I do have leaf stencils somewhere, and you could do the same thing. You could stencil with acrylic paint or squash or whatever you got. All right. Or more watercolor, just gotta make it darker than the last shade you used. So now I'm just gonna kind of randomly make a stem. Don't even try to do it perfect, just make a stem. This is a very small pen. I think they're actually called, oh, this one's an Arteza. I'll take that back. This isn't my micro pen. This is an Arteza pen. And I like them kind of like when they're broken up like that. I think they look cool. You're gonna make some, let them break up a little bit. Same thing here. So anybody that's out there, make sure you jump on, gets my business out there, and you let some Facebook know that you like me and you want to be notified once in a while. You could find me easier. Okay, that's good. So now I'm going to kind of mess with that border. I got a white Posca pen here. I'm going to use a thick one. I'm just going to kind of put a little border. Now the other one I did where I do the black pen, I'm going to do this one in white. Just kind of, there's a little paint on here, but it's okay. Just kind of white the edges out a little bit. I mean, you don't have to do this part. I couldn't think what to put for a saying, and you want to put something on this, you know. If you're doing it for a card, if not, you just frame it, you know. I put leaves are autumn's blooms. Very poetic. I don't know how I came up with it, but kind of true, isn't it? More. It's an old one, wants to bleed. All right, so I think you got the idea here. Let it dry a second. Isn't it fun? Get pretty creative with these. I love multimedia, so I like using different stuff. I just seen on Amazon, someone was advertising ATC stencils. Now, they're awful small, so I don't know how that would work, but I thought that was interesting, but I don't see why you just can't use regular stencils. That's what I do. All right, let this dry. That's dry enough so I can do that one. Leaves, and I do this. I've been trying to improve on my writing. What's on here? Oh crap! It just knocked me off. Nothing new. Let me see if I get back on. Trying to improve like my spelling and my writing so that I can do, you know, Well, they're putting me over in the Artsy Rose shop. I love it. What's going on with Facebook lately? They just put me on the Artsy Rose. I said, not where I was. Okay, I'll go back on. Let me go on. They just put me back over the Artsy Rose. Isn't that strange? Strange. Okay, nope. I'm so used to doing it without this thing. My granddaughter got me this. It's a different type of mouse. Yes, close. It goes on the other sides because I had to put one of those, I have to store a lot of videos now, so she got me that little thing. So I can use the other side with this, but you gotta have a special one and all. Alright, let's see if I can get on here again. Come on, behave. Behave. Sorry about that, it happens. Desktop login, let's see if it'll let me go over. You have to do, when you do anything like business-wise, you can't use a regular phone. Not with Facebook. So, am I on here? Oh, there I am. There I am. Now, am I in the right place? No. I'm on the page manage. Which is another whole story, because I think what we're going to be doing, guys, is I'm starting another group. Because the other one is a mess now because everything that happened. And it's probably a good thing because that thing I told you needed some updating. Here we are. It needed some updating. So I had an old one called, hey, happy Thanksgiving, one called the Garden Palette. And I had one called the Inner Circle. So I combined the names. So I'm going to go back to the Garden Palette. And it's all flowers in there. But I'm going to do that because you can't save the videos. They all have to go to YouTube. So I put some in, I took some out, I put some in, I took some out, it's a mess. So I said, you know something? They don't want people saving videos, they want you to store them, which is fine. But it kind of screwed the group up. Now, anybody else who's got a couple of videos, fine. I do a lot of videos. So there was a lot in there. It's been a nightmare, so I'm done with it. I'm done. I checked out a couple other companies, which I got to ask one of the girls is in the one I'm interested in about what her problem was or why she wanted to drop out. So I'm going to stay with Facebook. Anyways, so there's a new group coming, guys. Purple rain, purple rain. All right, let me turn this around. Yeah. Yeah, I got my, I get that mail that tells you what's coming. And it said that somebody else is in there, but I haven't seen it. All right, so I'm gonna try to improve on my writing. So I'm doing this thing where I do big letter and then small letter, like that. And it gives me kind of a cool look. I put bloom on that one, but I think we're gonna put blooms. So there's one. Oh, crap. So now, knock everything over. Not enough room for this. I put another Lazy Susan on the bottom of it so I can turn the whole chart thing. All right, so here's this one. I was just playing earlier. But I can show you what I did. I just was playing, experiencing. So as we're doing the same thing, except this time, I'm going to show you how you do the dry technique. You've seen the wet technique. We're going to do that again. Wet on wet. You're going to spray. Really saturate. Now, like I said, if you got really low, like 65 watercolor paper or multimedia paper, it's thinner, so you're going to have to tape it down. But with this, it's 130, 140 pounds, so it's got a little tooth to it. You know, not tooth, but like strength to it. So see, it buckles a little bit, not a lot. This is great for water techniques. The other one, I have ruined paper paintings that were pretty good, simply because when I went to take tape off, I've tried it wet, I've tried it dry. washi tape will stick, but if there's too much water, don't. So the best for me is to use a little bit heavier watercolor paper so I can really soak it down so I can get that kind of murky look that I'm looking for. All right, so let's see. On this one, I added a little more green and yellow because I kind of did a, like, changing fall kind of colors. So I did like a brownish green over in this corner. I'm just going to kind of just drop the colors in. Just drop them in. See, it's not quite wet enough. I want this a little bit wetter. I want to see it. See what it's doing. I want it so it moves. You kind of move around with the brush. A lot of water in here. Then I did a red over in this corner. If I don't feel there's enough water, I can just add more water with my brush. And I want them to kind of do this where they blend together like that. Let's see, I want more yellow on this other side. So I rinsed it out. If you're having problems making the colors look right, the one thing with watercolors, you need to have clean water. And if you do got dirty water, this is not something you want to do if you want a specific color. What a lot of watercolor artists have is two water things. They have one to clean their brush, and the other one to really extra clean it for the watercolors. If that makes any sense. A little more brown over here. See, I get this plastic because it gets all over. This is one of those things I like doing it outside because I don't have to worry about dripping it everywhere. I mean, I got like a rug here, but still it gets all over everything. If I'm going to do a lot, that is, you know. Then I want them to kind of blend together a little bit. And I will let that happen. Just roll it around, or you can push it around with your brush. This is a really cool look. And now if you don't want all that on there, you can take and blot it, which really kind of gives it a cool look. My one paper towel here has a design on it. I'll show you when I do the hair. And the circle in it showed up on this painting. And it's the coolest thing. You can see all these little dots that were on the water, you know, on the paper towel. All right, so now I don't want to blot this. I'm going to just let it kind of swirl together a little bit. This way. And then I'll have the dryer. Now this is wet on wet. I love the gold. I don't know, I was just going to put a little bit, but then, I don't know, it gave it a little pizzazz. This one I kind of just dotted it on with my finger a little bit. I love gold. This time of year I think you gotta have gold and sparkles. I use liquid sparkles. We're gonna get all over. This is so beautiful. I think with a heat gun it doesn't push as much all over, but I got this. I'm not buying something else. Alright, so I got this interesting little hole here, but I kind of like it, so I'm going to leave it. So then what I did was I penciled in whatever leaves I'm going to do. So because I'm not really going to see them, but then I'm going to do a wet on dry technique. So I need to have that background dry. So you can do a dry technique over a wet technique. But first, I forgot, let's wrap up our little paper towel and make our little edges here. Paper towel underneath it soaked. I think that'd be perfect, just the indication that there's a border. You don't even gotta do this. It's starting to come up a little bit. See, that's what happens when you're on thinner paper, like the paper starts to come up. But I make a border with like a black pen or anything. You could use any color really. Just get some of the paper off these edges. Not coming up, I'm going to wet that edge a little bit here. Yeah, a little better. See where my fingers are holding the paper down. Alright, it's like a kind of a border there. That's good. It's almost like a tornado or something right there. It's kind of cool. Kind of let this dry, so I'm kind of block this out a little bit. So you can use your brush for this too. See, I like it when there's these little mixed parts. To me, that's like an old-fashioned watercolor. They didn't have, you don't always have control. And some paintings, like this with the wet on white, you don't really want too much control. It's a good way to experiment with your colors to see how they blend. Watercolors is like one of the easiest things to start out on too, as far as learning to watercolor mix or color mix. Yeah. So now I'm going to take a pencil and dry. And I'm just going to kind of draw out a basic leaf pattern. Same thing, you could use a stencil for this. And I'm just going to, not going to be exactly the same, but that's okay. Let's do this with the center one. Then I can add stuff later. Alright, so now I'm going to do a dry technique. All that means, wet on dry, is I'm going to take wet paint and put it onto a dry surface or paper. You do these mostly on paper. I know a lot of people don't know that, but it's done mostly on paper. There is canvas out now that you can do. It's kind of expensive. There is canvas out. It's a special canvas for acrylics or for watercolor. But there's also this thing, which I have here somewhere, called ground, which you got to do several layers. It doesn't come out as nice, I think. So the other stuff's very expensive. I haven't tried it yet, but I've seen this couple artists that are really good use it. So if you want to get into a canvas type thing, there is stuff out there. Other than that, they just use, you can like the Arts Beauty Supply. The Art Supply down here, it's a professional one, big. It's called The Art Store. Probably look it up. In Syracuse, they have just like, well, you can buy it, a lot of other places have it, like Jerry's Autorama. You can buy individual large sheets, like say if you want 16 by 20, you can buy big sheets. Do all kinds of stuff. So now I don't want this solid like that, but see how it's like wet on the dry paper and you get more definition on the edges, sharper. That's why they do different ones, so you get a nice sharp edge on that. This wasn't quite dry, but the drier it is, the sharper the edge. Just learning how to control the water, really. See, that pulled some up because the brush is semi-dry. But I'm pulling some of this up. I'm going to come in here with my paper towel. I'm just going to kind of take a little bit out here and there. Then I could add other colors. I got it really dark and I want to put some other colors in. Like I said, I can pull up some color. So now I got little lighter areas that I can add some different colors. Pull some of this out still. A little bit more out of this middle one. A little less color. Now I'm going to add a little bit out of this one too. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. And like an orange too. Let's do the yellow first. Right into the yellow. Not a lot of water. No water on the brush. You just went right in and These lighter areas are going to get a little color. I'm going to do a little orange. I want the leaves to be like kind of changing, you know what I mean? I rinsed the color out, then I went into the orange color. So that's almost like an acrylic if you don't do it, you know, too wet. Just dip right into color. Make sure your colors are wet though, your painting colors. Like when I paint outside, trampoline or whatever you want to call it, not trampoline. Plein air, when I paint outside with my watercolors is what I usually use. I will make sure that, you know, it's dry if I'm doing something more detailed. Give a nice little pounce on that. Now, anything, I don't know if you guys know what you know about multimedia, but anything that if you're using more than one medium, like let's say you do a whole painting in oil, and you sign it in acrylic, it's now multimedia. That's what I'm being told. I, for a long time, did my oils with just an oil-based wash or whatever you want to call it, and I designed my whole painting with one color, like burnt sienna or something. You know, lights and darks and all that. Get your whole thing, what you're going to do, so you know your lights and darks are, what your composition is what you do. So then I would have to let that dry a bit. I mean, I mix it with a lot of turpentine. I use odorless, and it dried pretty fast, but not as fast as I would like. Well, then I found out that people were doing acrylic underneath. It dries really fast, and you can paint oil over acrylic. So that's another thing you guys think about. If you're thinking about getting into oils, you might find it a little easier if you have an acrylic base. It just dries really fast. You get all your details in, and then you can start adding your colors. That's how you do paintings like that. Okay. All right, let me just turn this around. So every color has its own little, every type of color, watercolor, all of them have their own little things that you gotta learn, you know. So I want the black one first. No, I want the white one first. No, I want the green first. I want to do some extra leaves. So I'm just gonna add some little extra leaves here and there. Wherever you think. And I'm doing this with kind of a dry technique again. One down here. I want them kind of faded like up into the distance maybe. Just kind of pick up some of the color. Now I can come in with I'll do my white first. And just kind of do the stem. Kind of break it up a little bit. Don't make it real perfect. Yeah, just a little color here and there. That's why I didn't do any stems on that, but that's all right. Get my black. I did one in the corner too. We don't have to though. I'm just going to kind of randomly make these rough shapes. Then I'll kind of put these little branches off like they would have. I can kind of do these little ends. Don't try to make them the same. I think that's what makes them. I mean, you can if you're, you know, a lot of people that like the the real look, realism. Not me. I like lights and shadows and darks and impressionism and abstracts, and I love all that stuff. But you know, this is what I teach, is what I know. You know, I did a lot of realism type stuff and made me stressed out. I give kudos to anybody who can accomplish that, because that's not easy. All right, so I put a couple in the corner here. We'll go right ahead and put a couple in the corner. Let's do some orange and brown. I'm just gonna make a couple little, like this. I need a smaller brush, that's too big. Just get them in here. Yeah, they had a good sale here on turkey. Normally I would buy 2 anyways. I did buy 2. We had one already. I didn't know I was having so many people for dinner. I had 10 people coming. It's a long story, but everybody's got stuff going on. I'm fine. They're all going to help. They're all bringing stuff. A lot easier on them, too. I mean, I remember working and trying to do all that. Oh, it's too much. Used to go to his mother's. My husband's. Sometimes. Later on, just us, you know. Alright, so now I want to make a little border. I'm just going to kind of... Oh, my brush. This is an acrylic. This is an Arteza marker. Sometimes I just do dots like that, and I go... Just, I don't like try to do it perfect. That's what makes it interesting. It's my new thing. I see that Andrea that I watched do this. Alright, so then I'm going to maybe make a few more here. I think just a few more. Then I'm going to give her a little splash. Give her a little splash. It'll look like there's berries or something. I'm going to balance it all out here. Now I take my big medium brush. And I'm going to go right into this red, and I'm going to soup it up, a lot of red. Then I'm going to just take my finger, and I'm going to splash. Get yourself a painting. Dry a second. I just put fall colors on it. So anyways, I ended up buying 2 small turkeys. I got the big one for dinner, and I don't think it's going to be enough. So I'm doing the other turkey Saturday. It's a smaller one. My grandchildren are going to come over. Me and my husband used to call it practice night. And, 48 cents a pound. So we could see turkey like that for a year. So I took it, I'm just going to do like potatoes and gravy, and then take the rest of it and put it in a foil pan with the extra legs and stuff and the wings, and just put it in the freezer so I know I'll have enough turkey. So, all right, so now I'm just going to sign this. Well, first I got to write fall colors. Do some big and some small. And then you can just sign if you want to. I always sign mine, most of the time. And so there's those 2. So now what we're going to do is I just closed my laptop. I'm sick of messing with it. Since I ain't got enough room here. I'm going to have to rearrange this whole room again. So I just took one of my, this is actually, you buy this paper like this. It comes in another project. It's basically like, kind of like post paper, or it's watercolor paper, but it's postcard size. You could send these out as postcards. I haven't done a postcard in so long. Do they still do postcards? I don't even know. So I just took a pencil and I kind of made a face. Just a rough, nothing particular. A little beard on him. I did like kind of some hair here. And that's it. Then I took I just took different colors, all fall colors. You can do whatever you want. And I took a medium-sized round brush, and I just started putting in, looks like hair. Just have fun with playing with the colors. I seen somebody do this. She did red, white, and blue. Or you could do rainbow colors even. Let's see, let's do some yellowish colors. It's kind of dark, but that's okay. Show you what I did with the paper towel. I kind of just swirled it around. It's got a nice point on it. It's a round brush with a good point. That's a good brush when it's got a round brush when it's got a good point. I'm going to add other colors to this, but I'm just trying to. All right, so now I take my Oh, a fresh paper towel. See these, I don't know what kind are these. I forget what they call these. I get these Amazon. But they get little circles and swirls in them. I didn't even realize it until after I put a little more on there. More paint. I was like, oh, look at that. They gave these little dots and bumps too. So I went like this. Like this. You can see it left like little bumps everywhere too. Isn't that cool? That's cool. I thought it was cool. You can kind of see the little circle. Now let's get some more paint. And let's do purple. Because purple, orange, and blue, purple and blue, are kind of complementary, if you know what I mean. You guys follow their color wheels. Yeah, it's kind of... I kind of did around the edges with some blue too. Like I said, the opposite of orange would be blue. So I just watered down some blue and just around the edges. Just playing. Some water. I can just like kind of loosen it up a little bit. A little bit here and there, not much. Yeah, so I don't know, I just worked out, you know, the other, oh, it's a long story, but everybody's working now. It's just, I'm glad they're working, but, which is okay. It isn't like the old days when I did the whole meal, you know. Yeah, and I don't get as fancy. I just get it done. So I'm gonna come right in here and start doing him a face. Giving him a doer here, is it? Bob Ross called it a doer. I'm gonna do it up. Yep. Yeah. Just kind of a rough image. I'm not trying to do anything spectacular. Been playing around with faces a lot lately, so let me take that dark blue again and kind of cover this in. Mustache? Why not? Ooh, that looks good. I like it. So that's what I did. Pretty simple. Have fun swirling them colors. And you still come in, I could still come with this with like pen. And that's what I did in the other one. Oh, it's on the other side. I kind of came with some more pen, kind of added some more stuff wherever I wanted to. So the other one's on the other side. Like that. Fun, right? Good way to have fun with the brushes too. Sometimes you need to learn the motor skills. You know, when I first started doing swirls, I couldn't get my hand to make that circle. Now I can, but it took practice. You like to splash? You know, when I clean it, it's usually when I can't find nothing. When it's a mess, I know where everything is. But last time I did a really good job. So it was easy for a while, but now it's starting to get a little. So I've been boxing up stuff. Either give it away, I got a pile over here. Everybody's floor when you're an artist, right here. So stuff. Journals, Halloween stuff I got to put away. All kinds of good stuff. So yeah, then I gotta put all those, the ATC from last month into my little book. I love my little book with all my ATCs now. That was, I don't know who's that, was from Barb McMurray, and it was such a good idea. Do I have it out? I don't think it's out. Oh, it is out. I gotta put the new ones in here. Oh no, it isn't out. That's something else. Oh, anyways, guys, anybody that's new, thanks for visiting. Anybody that's old, thanks for visiting. And I will see you Saturday. Not sure what we're doing. I think we're going to do some more art therapy, definitely. And I got a couple projects out of that book. And I think next week we're going to do that vintage Santa on the form, which I'm going to do like in a pink, because everything I got in my front room for Christmas is pink. And we're going to be doing some abstract Christmas trees we're going to do with washi tape. And that's next week. And then we're going to be doing some of these. And I got a snowman I'm going to show you that I'm selling a kit, which is like cloth, and he's got one of those ornaments, wood ornaments and cloth. Yeah, I'll show them to you. He's not quite finished. So once I show it to you, then I'm going to make a video. And then if you want to buy it, I'll send you the supplies and stuff. All right, guys, so that's it for tonight. I will see you tomorrow. No, say Thursday. Thursday, right? I'll see you guys Saturday. All right, guys, have a great night. Thanks for coming again. Bye, guys. Bye.